Lick Lionel's lusty leathers.
Lick Lionel's lusty leathers.
Wait, hey, no, I started the video. Hey, so, sound check right there. Hey, this is Walsthrough with Rojo Dodo, and with me today is Ninjas.
Hello.
Hey, we are doing another community pubcast, basically. Actually, I might turn off the, what do you call it? The period. I hate to say it. I hate to do that.
Would we like the period?
Yeah, so he's been pretty loud lately. I like playing with that a lot because it adds a little humor, but lately we've been competing a little bit with the announcer. So, what we're doing today is an extension of our previous pubcast. We are going to look into a pretty entertaining pub game and just try and let you know what's going on and add a little bit of educational flavor to it, hopefully, with the builds and such. So let's get underway with the introductions. I'll take care of the dire side. We've got some Chinese symbols on Sand King, Marshmallow on Magnus going mid, Reap It Cheap on Undying. We've got a couple more. Let's see if they pop in here. Okay, I'm gonna say Kiss Slapdicks on Warlock. And there's one more coming in here. The Weaver hasn't spawned yet, maybe. And yeah, I'm going to say that's Boobs on Weaver.
Boobs.
Alright, go ahead with the Radiant side introduction.
Alright, on the Radiant side, we have I'm Your Missus going mid on the Queen of Pain. Fatality
30 seconds
on the Windrunner. Benangnam going bottom on the Juggernaut. Parker on Sniper. And Demon Flash on Bloodseeker.
Very nice. So, let's see. Things looking pretty standard on Windrunner. Level 1 power shot doesn't do a lot, but that does give you the early advantage to get another level on the power shot. Sniper instantly going for headshot, so he is probably looking to be pretty aggressive with his harass going top of that Windrunner.
If we look at Queen of Pain's build mid here, pretty standard going with the dagger for the lane harass. But we noticed she's also only picked up 3 GG branches as well as some tangos, probably going for a fast bottle there to get that region and try and maintain control over the runes with her blink.
Definitely. So let's see here. All the item builds pretty normal. The Wraith Band on Sniper is a little bit odd, and the Bossy Ring is a little bit odd on the Windrunner. But good for just general regen, so can't complain there.
Looking towards this bottom lane here too, with the Bloodseeker as well as Juggernaut having a double melee lane down here. Both going
we got
for
some action mid. We got Sniper coming in with the invisibility rune. Slow going out on Magnus. Looking for some headshot procs. Looking for some. Oh, got the creep. Oh, disappointing.
Sniper taking almost as much damage in that fight as Magnus did, so nothing really gained on the side of the Radiant there. In fact, Sniper losing out on some EXP and gold as well, so not really sure if that trade really worked in their favor or not. But
the Sniper goes, aww, and Magnus is falling asleep. Well, close. Unfortunately, the Sniper got a little bit distracted. Randomly saw a squirrel and started attacking it. So.
On this bottom lane, really nice aggressive long lane coming out from the dire side there with Undying as well as Warlock. Going to give them a lot of decent damage early on. Warlock's base damage being very good for a support hero. Plus the Fatal Bonds as well as Shadow Word giving them in lane sustain as well as some harass against this double melee lane. But Bloodseeker also got some really good lane sustain in here with Bloodbath. So
also have to say as a Juggernaut, that early Blade Fury, the spin, just a bit of a waste. Uh-oh. First blood? There it is. I got it. That was close, actually. Really hard. Even early on, this Magnus did pick up an early bottle, but early on, Queen of Pain really needs to dance in and out of his range. She cannot just straight up man fight a Magnus. He is simply too tanky. And back to the other thing that I was talking about, for anyone aspiring judge players out there, obviously there are different ways to play them, but one of the big things is mana management, and what really helps you out with that is if you usually go Q stats, you get the Blade Fury and some stats to get some mana, so you've got more combos available to you, just in case you don't have a lot of mana regen at your disposal, and he really used a Blade Fury in that situation when it was not a situation where he could kill, which is almost exclusively what you want to use it for unless you're late game clearing creep waves.
Or escape as well, keeping in mind that you are completely magic immune while Blade Furying. A lot of times you will see that used to try and get out of a bad situation or a gank that's coming your way.
Well, Queen of Pain trying to find her rhythm again after that first death. This is a lane where she should make Magnus's day pretty difficult, using a lot of dagger spam, which everyone hates to fight against. Uh-oh, we've got a disconnect on Warlock, and he is headed back to base. Wait, guys, wait. Alright.
Rap a sheep.
We've got the good manners pause, so. In any case, let's see here, so. And it's funny, first time we recorded this video, we were talking about the channel a little bit, but now that we've got a few videos up, we're trying to make things happen when it comes to the channel and just post videos. I think we've covered a lot of the things, but in general, anything on your mind there, Ninjas, as far as the channel goes, or things in the future here soon you'd like to do?
I mean, we've had a lot of good ideas that we've kind of talked about in our previous videos for the channels. Really just trying to get a feel for what the people that are watching want to see. So we've come up with some humorous ideas, some things that we think would be fun, things that we think would be educational. And again, I think from the beginning our whole thing has been that we both love Dota tremendously. It's a wonderful game. We want to help you guys love Dota more too. And after you played a game for a really long time, sometimes things can get stale. So trying to add some humor and some fun back into the game for other players as well.
Alright, we've got Warlock reconnecting here. Yeah, I definitely agree with you. And we're trying to improve our casting skills, so recording these and kind of going one game at a time, working on both the hardware side of things and also kind of our technique, because talking through some of this stuff is actually more difficult than I expected. Well, maybe just as difficult as I expected, but it's taken some time to feel like we're getting smoother at it, and that's
that dead air.
Hopefully becoming easier for everyone to listen to as we perhaps gain a viewer or two.
Or three. If we're feeling fancy. I don't know.
I do believe we're up to about 4 subscribers at the moment. Wait, no,
4.
3. I'm one of those on my other.
That counts.
Patting
right?
my own. Nobody listen. I'm secretly trying to give myself money.
See some good carafe?
Harass?
Is a carafe what you contain things in? We're seeing some good harass out of this bottom lane here. Again, from the Warlock and Undying, just a really good aggressive combo. Those decay stacks doing much more than you might think at first. That sapping a hero's strength early on, especially an agility hero when they have almost no strength or HP to begin with, creates some serious issues. Being careful about taking lane aggro, about taking the base hits, about taking damage from abilities like Shadow Word and Fatal Bonds, just really making it kind of a nightmare for Juggernaut to be in lane here.
Definitely. And really what we're seeing here in this lane setup, just trying to, as far as the Dire side go, they are trying to stall it out a little bit, get their key spells up, because really they do have a very nice team fight centric lineup. They've got some of the big ones with the Warlock Golem, the Undying's Totem, Magnus RP, and of course the
some action going up top here, just a little skirmish it looks like. Weaver going in though, as well as Magnus with the skewer. He's not going to find anybody, but the shockwave does go off, catches fatality on the back end.
Lots of damage. We're in full chase mode. Big shockwave. They are already low, but it does not.
Queen of Pain coming in from the river. But they are back to the tower, so it doesn't look like there's going to be any.
Looks like she ported in for a quick scream. Didn't quite get in range for it, unfortunately. But now we have a full 3-on-3. Well, no, it's going to be a 3-on-2 here very quickly. So with Magnus wrapping around, he wanted to see if a skewer was going to be possible, but Queen of Pain just too slippery at this point.
Nice power shot from Windrunner, taking Sand King pretty low. As you're saying about Dire's teamfight potential, really a lot more right-click, a lot more single hero pickoffs coming out from the Radiant, but just thinking about the possibility of a good skewer RP to a Warlock ult to an Epicenter is just not going to be a fun thing to deal with. Plus Weaver on the back end with cleanup, and as well, like you said, the Tombstone. Popping out those little zombies to help slow everybody down just makes escaping something very difficult. RP coming out from Magnus.
There it is.
Fatality.
One man RP.
Skewer
Really
back
needs
to the
to get
shockwave.
skewered.
Fatality is very low. Weaver is going to pick up the double kill here. I'm sorry, Boobs. And is also continuing to fight Queen of Pain. That Shikuchi. Is he going to have enough? I think he's going to have enough.
Yeah,
No, maybe
yep,
not.
one
No,
more.
no, oh!
Two more?
The Shikuchi barely
Oh,
getting
wow.
him out of tower range. So Boobs
Yes.
does get away from that with a triple.
Wow, very close. We actually have some action going on mid too. Look like a little bit going on here with just barely seeing the Bloodseeker escape. So Weaver, primarily a hero that is just content to sit in lane and farm and be extremely annoying, hard to kill. Give him an early triple, and all of a sudden he suddenly
Some
becomes
action bottom here, by the way.
big damage.
Not
as
very
well.
low. Blade Fury goes off, but they will be able to pick him up with right clicks as well. Dying,
There it
taking a
is.
lot of damage from the tower.
Radiant's bottom tower is
Yeah.
under attack.
And then with our typical replay
Radiant's
faction, I
structures
think
are
I am
fortified.
going to have you do about 2 seconds.
Desync.
Desync. Volvo, please dismay it. Uh-oh.
Rupture coming out from Bloodseeker. Warlock's just going to kind of stand there and take it.
Radiant's
Yeah.
bottom tower is under attack.
I think I'm going to get myself... Actually,
and the big scream
There it
and Blake
was.
coming off. Queen of Pain just completely obliterates both Undying
That
and
was the
Warlock.
sound
That was very
of
good.
your death.
very good positioning there. Sand King, I have a double damage. I can fight all y'all.
Man fight. Man
Not
fight coming up. Oh,
such a great idea.
I wasn't expecting that.
You gotta love Bloodseeker fighting him while the Satyrs just hit him in the back.
The ones you love.
Not bad, not bad. So I was gonna say, I got my normal gin and tonics going on, but for some reason I ran out of tonic water, so I attempted to do it with club soda. It was a terrible, terrible idea.
It's not the same.
It tastes really weird.
Do you have any club soda?
Uh-oh. Juggernaut getting a bit brave, considering the two heroes that are there.
Let's take a little revisit to these item builds that are coming up here. Juggernaut on the bottom, still pretty standard, picking up a poor man's shield to help alleviate some of that harass damage coming out from that lane there. Warlock not finding a whole lot by way of farm, but still doing well, sharing with Undying down here, and he does have his mana boots picked up at this point. So not great timing for that, but not bad either. We do see a Rupture come off again from Bloodseeker, coming in on Warlock as well as Undying. Queen of Pain in there as well, but Undying is going to be able to pick off.
Yeah, big picks there.
I'm sorry.
And ultimately,
Did you say stop?
what we're seeing at this point are some pretty decent builds. One thing that I would change, although the mana is nice, oh my, Undying, not quite unkillable. I wondered what was going to happen when the strength stacks were gone. And Weaver can't quite stop this either. Well, what I was going to say was the Bossy into Aquila, not always the most optimal build on Windrunner. The flat regen you get from it is very good on agility and strength heroes, but on a int hero, once you get past that 33 plus range of intelligence, the Sage's Mask actually gives you about the same mana regen. Obviously, you're getting some auto attack damage out of the Bossy ring, but in general, Aquila.
Big RP miss. Sorry,
Yeah,
Buster.
I saw that too.
While we're discussing the strategy here.
But the Golem drop, that is just too much lockdown right now for Queen of Pain, despite giving up the big RP. And actually, before I had finished talking, the RP hadn't quite gone off yet. So we've got that going on too.
Give it
But yeah, just a little odd coming out of the Windrunner, but in general too, they are giving up some good trades. If they're going to lose that fight bottom, then the best way to go about this is to trade a tower. But also, Bloodseeker not going to win this against a very fed Weaver at the moment. Although, had he turned and not fought those creeps right off the bat, that sniper might have had the killing blow.
Juggernaut getting very low on this bottom lane, but he is able to get away. Golem not quite in range to do the AoE burn damage, and he's also very slow as well with the move speed.
320. Definitely. And of course, a bit of miss micro. Golem not something you want to give away for free, because it does give a decent amount of gold. Uh-oh, the sniper. He is slightly Weaver food, if he wants it.
Oh, and the stun coming off from SK. Keeping Fatality in place for a moment. She does wind run, so they will get away for the time being.
Ooh!
Everyone, ooh! That power shot,
Very nice.
almost taking out Boobs, and then the Rupture comes off. Rupture, kind of coming out during the fade time of Shikuchi. Obviously, Shikuchi giving increased move speed does a lot of damage with that Rupture on.
Quite a bit of damage. In general things right now, definitely looking in favor of the Radiant side. Their single target carry strategy is working out in their favor due to the somewhat uncoordinated nature of their teammates not being able to land their big abilities.
SK and trying to sandstorm under the vision of the tower. Not usually a good idea, seeing as how it provides true sight, but it did not end well for him.
No, it's good. Guys, I got this.
It's alright. This will work. Trust me. Pretty even in terms of CS looking around. Bloodseeker is taking a bit of a lead. He's sitting at about 50 right now. In the meantime, most of the other heroes as well, including Queen of Pain and Magnus Mid, are sitting around the 20 to 30 range, so...
There it is. Wow, she really was dedicated on that one. Yeah, not much you can do against the... I mean, the whole point of the Quap is with that early advantage, she becomes a major nuisance earlier on the low health heroes. So Warlock, despite his slight bit of tankiness, an ult and Scream combo is usually enough to put you within a couple hits.
And really, this early on in the game, you know, her Scream having such a huge cooldown, kind of wondering if it's really worth it to use it on such a smaller support hero. Obviously, very big team fight coming out from Warlock, but not really the main issue here at this point. They really want to keep Weaver from getting farmed up, as well as preventing Magnus from landing those RPs and things. So I'm kind of questioning the decision to use the ult there, especially when she knew she may have to die in the process.
Yeah, at this point with the Warlock, when he doesn't have Golem off cooldown, he's not much more than a range creep.
Magnus deciding very odd times to use his RP as well. He's kind of in the trees. He really hates trees. He's a relative of Timbersaw.
Oh, and again, Juggernaut. Juggernaut players, please be mindful of the creep wave. Your ult can be so useless. Alright,
SK very low. Bloodseeker is going to pick him up.
Moving very quickly. There is a walking zombie trying to blend in here with the creeps. Not fooling anyone.
Bit of a useless sniper ult coming off here.
Yeah.
And the Rupture goes off and dying, taking a lot of damage.
Run. Yeah, there you go. Very nice combo.
Stopped for a moment, but he was taken out by the power shots.
Oh, a little bit of a late shackle there. But Bloodseeker getting all the farm that he wants right now. Doing quite well for himself.
Where are you sitting at right now, Walter?
20, 04, 05, 06.
Get another brief pause there. And again, these desync issues, as far as the little pauses we need to take, not affecting you guys as the viewers too much, other than just my psychic casting abilities, but just kind of nature of the beast when we're doing these replay casts.
Yeah, it is interesting too, even though it's really a game side issue, that consistently, it does end up you're always getting ahead of me. So I just
ahead.
got to stop playing on this toaster.
You gotta put in the time, man.
Magnus, very good skewer, very good situational awareness to use that and get himself out of there.
Radiant's top tower is under attack.
If only he could put some of that to work on his RPs.
Oh, you would think so.
Dire's middle tower is under
Yeah,
attack.
Weaver headed for the standard Lincolns, pretty much the standard brush that you see these days, just to get yourself as slippery as possible, and then go into damage, which makes him quite a bit late game instead of maybe rushing the Desolator or some other early damage item, but definitely against this lineup with very single target damage, gonna do a lot of good.
Looking at Marshmallow's build on Magnus here, kind of opting out of the early stats game to really have some presence in the fights here as far as base damage, but more relying on early skills and really trying to save up for that Blink Dagger to get that RP control off in the team fights.
No chance for Undying here. Gotta love the early, got an early Forcestaff on Bloodseeker. And let's see, I thought I saw maybe one other one, but no, it was just Bloodseeker.
And again, these videos are for beginners as well as advanced players. So taking a look at this Forcestaff on Bloodseeker, you might be wondering, why would you pick that up on an agility hero? And really kind of a cheesy build coming into play for, maybe cheesy's not the right word, but gimmicky, I guess, would be the word. Kind of using this in combination with Rupture.
Radiant's top tower has
Bloodseeker's ult
fallen.
doing more damage the farther distance a target travels. Now, you can use Forcestaff on both teammates as well as enemies, so once the Rupture is popped on an enemy, Forcestaffing them in any given direction takes a giant chunk of damage off of their health due to the distance that they've
Dire's
traveled over
bottom
that short
tower
period of
has
time.
fallen.
Yeah, and now also completely, it's an HP loss, so BKBs are ignored. Well, yet again, another slightly failed RP. And Sand King, wising up, not moving. No mana for the Forcestaff. Really wanted to Forcestaff him. This Rupture had no mana for it. But does get him with the right clicks. Weaver still doing his job, pushing top lane now.
Radiant's top tower is under attack.
He does have that Perseverance up, so he's pretty well on his way to getting that Lincoln's. We see a Vanguard pick up on Undying, nothing too uncommon there. Gives him some
Dire's
decent
bottom
block,
tower is under
some
attack.
nice regen.
Double damage!
I think revisiting the strategies here for each of these teams, again, Radiant having much more of a ganking line, focusing on the single player pickups, catching people off guard, out of position, and just picking up those single kills at a time, whereas with the lineup that Dire has, they really need to be focusing on early tower pushing and forcing the team fights, for which they have most of the control. If they're able to drag this game out long enough, Radiant may be able to win this, but hopefully the Dire will be able to kind of play to that strategy, get some early tower pushes, take those team fights, and try and win the game early.
Definitely. And too, actually, I'm noticing as well with the Queen of Pain, she did not max her Scream early, which is very strange that you wouldn't immediately max Scream. Most QoP players will leave their Shadow Strike at level 1 for as long as possible while they max their Blink for the cooldown and the Scream just for that big early 300 burst damage in an AoE early game, whereas the Shadow Strike really more useful for the slow than anything else. So, depending on how you want to play it. Now, this Weaver does look like he's going to pick up the Windrunner. If he... Oh, he is so close. He had to bail, unfortunately. One auto attack away.
Boobs.
Boobs? This Boobs Weaver? Bug with boobs? But they don't even nurse. And we learn about biology. He's... No comment.
Nope.
Not touching it. I'm not touching bug boobs with a 10-foot pole.
Would you? Ew.
If I had one, I'd let you know. So, anyway. We got just a lot of map movement right now, trying to, find interesting things to talk about while there's not much going on. Well, in any case, we'll check the experience graph. Radiant, their strategy is still going very well for them. Their experience are just levels. 10,000 in their advantage and
10,000 levels.
10,000 levels and about 7,500 in gold. So yeah, they're really doing well with this one at this point. Now, a team fight, given the comp as we stated before, really could change that quite easily. But the initiation would have to be quite perfect.
Good RP and
Here it
Skewers
is.
catching 2 people. Shockwave will take out Sniper. The power shot goes off as well as the Rupture. Looks like Magnus will go down as well. Mid fatality. Wind running out, but the Warlock ult barely catches her on the range of that.
Oh, Warlock just not really finding a good time to drop that, unfortunately.
Sonic Wave does go out. Hits SK while he's sandstormed. Interesting to note what you were saying about that Juggernaut ult. He did not really pay attention to the creep wave there. Launched into it just kind of out of panic mode, I think, trying to catch as many
very good
heroes as
Forcestaff
possible.
out of that Bloodseeker too. Yeah, I definitely agree with you there on the creep wave point. Turned it around. If you don't get them in the first couple spells, then you with that lineup.
And Kill Steal comes out from Juggernaut. Apparently very upset about losing that kill.
How unfortunate.
Something I think is fairly important to point out for new players. If you happen to be playing a support hero, never accuse your carry of stealing kills. It is the carry's job to steal kills. Obviously, them being the most item dependent, for the most part, there are some supports that really require those items, but the carry being the one that needs to farm up, get the gold, get the items to literally do as the name suggests, carry your team to victory.
Yeah, interestingly, I had a game I just played a little bit ago when I got home from work. I was playing Juggernaut and had a Rubik lane partner, which normally is a very good combo. You hold him up, that's a lot of extra spin time. But in any case, he really saved his Fade Bolt just until they had no health on me a few different times. And, well, what did he do with that gold? He bought mana boots. And that doesn't really win the game in itself. So, yeah, always be careful. It looks cool to have the stats sometimes, but, most experienced players will tell you, just, it is not about your kills. It is about the Ancient.
That's one thing that we heard over and over throughout the entirety of TI3's. Kills mean nothing, throne means everything. Even looking at the last game of Game 5 between Na'Vi and Alliance for the Grand Finals, Alliance was not ahead in kills at that point in the game. They won that through sheer push and really map awareness. And the kills don't mean anything. Yes, the kills help, the gold helps, but if you play smart, it's really doesn't matter if you get the Ancient.
I mean, the same thing kind of held true, I think, when Alliance played was LGD, when they had that epic base race, because LGD did get a little bit sidetracked when it came to the supports. And Alchemist, quite the ability to slap chop down supports, but those were definitely valuable seconds wasted where they really had the superior building killing lineup, but they lost the initiative.
That game, if you didn't catch it, just needs to be watched. It was one of the most amazing things I've ever seen.
It was a good one. I mean, there's just so many different moments this year that I was really impressed by. Wow, big nukes coming out. And once again, oh yeah, that was Dagon. So we've got Super Cheese, Forcestaff Dagon on Bloodseeker. He's looking to instantly wipe out one of these characters. So it looks like he must use his silence into Rupture Dagon on a very squishy boobs. Very squishy boobs.
What's your time looking at?
29, 48, 49, 50.
I haven't paused for a while. You're gonna miss a team fight mid.
Who said I'm gonna miss it?
No, I'm just saying. I'm just saying it's gonna be.
Uh-oh. Juggernaut.
Where you at now?
30:07.
A few seconds behind you now, but I'll get caught up here. Warlock He's kind of standing there.
Also, gotta love how Sand King was the
Dire's bottom
receiving
tower
end of
is
the
under
Empower. Good. This is all going according to plan.
Dire's bottom tower
Oh,
is under attack.
not a long enough skewer.
Your vital thread is broken.
It's time for another drink. How does that sound in the microphone?
Odd.
Odd. Ting, ting, ting.
Like gulping.
Mmm. Yum.
Good. Good. Good.
Well,
Well, we're sitting here looking at. Oh, go ahead.
Oh,
Go
I was
ahead,
just gonna
Walsh.
say
Be my guest.
we're waiting for another fight. Let's hear what you got to say.
Well, we're sitting here just kind of looking at everybody, tiptoeing around one another. Totally off topic, has nothing to do with Dota, and it's a rather old video, but Walter's brother actually showed me a video on YouTube the other day that made me lol, though I thought maybe I could share it with you guys. If you're looking for something just to kill 10 minutes, look up a video on YouTube called Where the Wild Things Are, as read by Christopher Walken.
Yeah, that was pretty amazing. Wow, Warlock coming out on a solo juggernaut.
Radiant's
I mean,
middle
really.
tower is under attack.
Considering now he's got another 160 seconds before he can
Nice
drop that
skewer,
call.
Magnus.
What does it sound like when Christopher Walken reads Where the Wild
Radiant
Things Are?
structures are fortified.
Do you really want to do this?
I
You really want
I-
to do this right now?
Small snippet. No pressure.
Where the wild things are.
Oh, that undying. He got double Forcestaffs. Gotta love it.
The rupture con. I'm still catching up to you, but that was a hilarious rupture. Warlock hanging around a bit longer than he should. Golem's gonna go down as well, but then the epicenter comes out from SK and the stun. Still not really gonna pick much out. RP comes out from
Come on,
Magnus.
Weaver.
Scream takes out SK.
Oh,
Oh, Weaver not quite able to pick up Queen of Pain.
oh
Before
this
Magnus
sniper
is
hates
able to go down.
creeps.
No, sniper! Why? Why? Why?
I love how he just turns
Queen of Pain,
around.
why?
Complete 180. Uh-oh. The hunt is on.
Boobs is chasing the queen.
Boobs and boots.
Boobs chasing the queen. Shikuchi,
Triple.
blink. She might be safe. No, oh, no. Weaver says, I know exactly where you are.
He found
Thank you
you.
for the triple. Weaver said, you can't hide in trees. I'm a bug. I live in trees.
Yeah, what Orkin, man. That hero hasn't been released yet.
Orkin man. Wait, that's the wrong one.
Holy. Queen of Pain, Bug, Boobs, Trojan Man jokes. I can't make anything out of that.
What are you doing? What are you even doing right now?
I'm just thinking. My brain is confused. So, man.
So anyway, back to Christopher
That,
Walken reading Where the Wild Things Are.
Oh yeah.
Anyway, exactly what it sounds like, but some of you may know if you've read the children's book, there are not that many words in the entirety of the book of Where the Wild Things Are. It's mostly just pictures. So the 10-minute video mostly consists of Christopher Walken talking about the illustrations.
There it is. Ooh. Nice combo on the Sand King.
Thanks for standing still.
Still sitting at a level 1 Dagon. He knows what he's doing. He's got mismatched swords. In case you
That's a
haven't
sign
noticed that
of a
yet.
true pro Bloodseeker player.
I found these, I'm using them.
These don't match.
And really, shackles have not been on point this game. Yeah, so Windrunner players out there. Well, no, Windrunner beginners. Windrunner players know how this works, but Shackle, really got to plan out as far as what trees are just beyond the hero, what other heroes just beyond the hero, and you're really trying to draw a line when you fire the shackles. Big
Or
warlock.
what other creeps are behind the heroes?
That works. too.
Sonic Wave going out on boobs. Juggle comes out.
Yeah.
Epicenter pops to the stun. Good epicenter by SK, but still not enough damage to really find anything. Good RP from Magnus, as well as the skewer up onto the high ground, surprisingly.
Come on, Quap. You need to get out of there.
Oops goes down, but Quap being slowed down by the zombies quite a bit there. I think it's important to note, at the highest level, those zombies actually do slow quite a bit. Let's take a look at the actual stats here on it.
Oh, Satyr throwing a blast in there. Oh, cannot win that fight. Oh, yeah, except he silenced himself. Yeah, little tip there. If you're ever looking to deny yourself or even deny a teammate, Bloodseeker is pretty good at that with his damage over time on his silence. But it does not look like Radiant was quite ready to push the mid, at least not against the initiation that was coming out of the Radiant side with some of their big fight ults. Yeah, and it just really didn't work out too well for the single target oriented builds of the Radiant side. Take it away.
After that rambling sentence. I'm curious as to whether or not that Bloodseeker intentionally denied himself, because unlike Pudge's Rot, that DOT does not do that much damage.
No.
So for him to be being attacked simultaneously by creeps as well as two heroes, seems unlikely to deny himself off. But
yeah, but you take the chance. And actually, if you do see a teammate getting away slowly, whether for trolling or for great pro plays, it can be used that way.
Speaking of denies, played a funny Rubik game just last night, actually, and had a little team fight skirmish up top at around level 6, and our mid came up. I can't for the life of me remember who the hero was, but he really thought that he was gonna die. 3 people chasing him. He went around the side of the secret shop, came out from behind the tree, and I denied him with a Rubik auto attack, and then just kind of smiled at the other team, and they all made sad faces.
No big deal. That'd be a pretty good clip.
Oh, there was also a clip in that game. Maybe we should just cast that game because it was really funny. There was a clip that we had seriously considered submitting to Dota Cinema because they actually had a Queen of Pain as well as a Magnus, which has really good potential, but they did an early push on our top tower. Magnus had all of us very low. We were all at least under a third of health. Queen of Pain ult most likely, can't say for sure, but most likely would have killed all 3 of us. She lined up her blink perfectly, threw the ult, and Magnus RP'd and pulled all of us under tower and saved us from her ult.
Ah,
And then we killed both of them.
not bad. Yeah, once she spent that, she's, you know.
Oh, it was possibly one of the greatest fails I've seen in my own games. Obviously, some pretty epic fails online.
Double
But
damage.
Well, grouping up around the Roche pit here. They do have what it takes to knock it out, as Radiant side is looking pretty spread out at this point. Weaver has completed his Deso, Lincoln's, his damage is pretty significant at this point with the early Geminate attack being totally maxed out. So this should be
that
down.
minus armor from that Desolator doing a lot of damage to Roche. He's at minus 3 armor right now.
And somebody's got to take the Aegis. Okay. Let's not give it to Weaver.
that Quap blink was almost far enough to be able to steal the Aegis. And it pops already from He's taking enough damage from that Juggernaut ult. Power Shot goes off as well as Sonic Wave to a nice Forcestaff, able to take out Weaver very quickly. So Boobs goes down, as well as Undying being kind of blocked by his teammates on the stairs there. Good epicenter.
Big RP
stun,
epicenter. Just too much.
And the Warlock ult goes off to help keep him in place, but Windrunner
Fast
does
zombies.
get off a Windrunner.
Fast zombies.
And it's just going to take a shockwave. Oh no, she's got some health.
Just.
Zombie's still slowing her down. Phase boost
40.
as well as Windrun, getting her pretty far away.
No
Are we going to see
mana.
the stun from SK?
Woo.
No. Woo! But the Urn Charge goes off. Is she going to make it? I don't know
She's
if
not going to make it.
I don't know if she's gonna.
Oh,
Ah!
so close. Wow, that really was calculated down to the very last health point.
She was almost in the fountain.
Not bad, not bad. So, they took Roche and just barely won the Roche fight. I mean, they had some big combos there. Counted on some big whiffs from the Radiant side to make that happen. But it was a pretty good exchange both ways. Aegis already burned, so that advantage is somewhat given up. Although if they push now, we could see a T2 tower down in the mid, which gives them even a little closer now to getting toward that Rax, which is really, this game does not have a true advantage until you start seeing the Rax go down, because these are not really pushing lineups either way.
Absolutely, and I think it's we can note, if we look at SK's build here really quick, I think it's a good thing to point out that SK, one of those kind of heroes that does not really require a whole lot of items to be effective. Looking at him, he's only got a Blink Dagger. Well, he just picked up his Boots of Travel. He had regular boots when I was starting to think about this, but just the Blink Dagger, the Urn, and the Wand in that last fight, really showing the strength of certain support heroes when they just relying on their abilities, not necessarily their items. Obviously, the Blink helping a lot with positioning for the epicenter and things like that, but just showing that the good team fight combos and the support heroes that really have the lockdown, the stuns, the good AoEs, can do wonders in a fight.
Yeah, and we just saw the Blink pickup from the Bloodseeker. That does make him into a little bit more of a pushing hero. When within about 650 range of Blink heroes, he could disable that, although 1200 range of Blink, that's only so good. But in any case, just decided he had the gold to spend, and he was ready to buy some damage, so see how that pays off for him.
That Yasha coming out from him as well, gonna help increase his move speed. We know with Thirst already, he becomes very quick when he's chasing down heroes, so that just helping even more so for him to help chase and help secure those kills.
Who's got the Yasha?
There was a Yasha on the courier.
Where's that going?
I thought it was going to Bloodseeker.
Oh, that's
it must
going
be going
to
Jug.
Sniper. Sniper just completed
okay,
the Yasha.
Never mind. Totally ignore everything I just said about Bloodseeker.
Yeah, Bloodseeker, actually, I think he's definitely got the Forcestaff chase. I've seen him use that a couple times, jumping up high ground, which actually pretty good skill plays, really. Have the positional awareness to Forcestaff yourself up there. But we're probably just looking for another big fight. There's really no other way around it. These are not farming heroes, per se, on the Radiant side besides the Weaver. So it's really a death ball. Yeah, Dire. It's really a death ball lineup. We need to see 5-man versus 5-man so that something can happen soon.
And really, the Dire's major advantage is being able to push those towers and force the team fights. Otherwise, as you said, they're just allowing Juggernaut as well as Bloodseeker and Queen of Pain. Sniper not so much, not really getting a whole lot of farm this game, but allowing them to farm up and just get those items that they're going to need to really wreck the fights. Looking at Bingamnam on Juggernaut, hold off on this for a second, we got some action mid here.
Double! That was awesome double Forcestaff coming out from the Bloodseeker and, what was it, the Windrunner?
Ooh, the Warlock ult as well as the Sand King
placed.
stun and the Epicenter. Able to take out Bloodseeker there. Juggernaut kind of running the wrong way, it seems, into the Warlock slow. Kind of wastes his ult there. Sand King is able to get away, but that power shot nearly taking him down low. Warlock looks like it's going to go down to Juggernaut here, but SK still able.
Phase boots. Gotta love the phase boots with the Blade Fury. So now knocking on... Oh.
Weaver coming in, just kind of saying hi to everybody, saying, hey, I'm here to kill you.
Yeah, at this point being very good at just fighting one-on-one against these other heroes.
Boobs. Boobs are always good at fighting one-on-one.
2-on-1.
Wait.
Wait, what? Yeah, just getting out of that. Having the superior disengage. Able to get away.
If we want to take a look at this last hits and denies chart here, Bloodseeker was initially the one finding the farm, finding the creeps, finding the last hits, finding the heroes, but we see that this Battle Fury pickup on Juggernaut has exponentially boosted his farming. He's able to take out those waves in, several hits or less, putting him up to 185 last hits right now. Not spectacular for 40 minutes in, but this is not pro play, so nothing to bat an eyelash at either. An eyelash? Not sure.
I bat an eyelash.
It would take some tremendous control.
Do bats have eyelashes?
I think so.
I'm gonna after this game, I'm getting on Google Images. I'll let you know. I'm gonna find out.
Contrary to popular belief, bats are not actually blind.
Yes. So far as I've heard in grade school, they see about as well as we do. They just don't need to. Oh yeah.
Now, even if you hate our casting, at least you learned something.
I learned something today. There's subscriptions out for learning. Alright, big fights again. This is not one the Bloodseeker's gonna win. Oh, big ganks. Can't a man just fight some walking rocks in peace?
Dire's bottom tower is under attack. Dire's structures are fortified.
Oh, they're looking to barrel down mid again. Wow. Very, very close. Juggernaut getting down below 100 health with that Blade Fury into TP. Oh, big shackles. But he is very tanky right now.
Oh, look at him just taking it. Then the RP comes out, Sonic Wave as well, kind of being wasted
Skewer,
on Magnus.
wasted.
The Warlock ult comes off.
Very
Sniper hanging around.
good attempt.
Sniper still has Fatal Bonds on. See how much damage he's doing. He's just kind of hanging back there.
Yeah, very good attempt actually. They
Good shackle, keeping Warlock as well as Undying in place.
Creep.
Juggernaut ult messing up Undying pretty badly as well as Magnus. Magnus trying to make it off to the right side there. Juggernaut also giving chase to Weaver. Boobs. Kind of deciding that that's not a great idea, seeing as how he has a Desolator.
Yeah, for Warlock, that is one thing that often gets forgotten is how good his upheaval is, especially with this late in the game where you've got it maxed because you don't have a lot of other things to spend your stats on. That upheaval, if your golem is off cooldown, you've thrown your fatal bonds, best thing you can do is pick a good spot where you know people are going to be standing. Just leave that upheaval there. It is one of the best slows in the game. It just takes a long
Radiant
setup to get
structures
there.
are
So
fortified.
if you can plan that out, you can really change the ability of the other hero to disengage. And actually, speaking of Warlock, let's see if we have any action here. I'll stop talking if we do. One of our dojo ideas. Oh, here goes. Yep.
Oh, and the Forcestaff.
Forcestaff.
Forcestaff taking out Magnus there. Good epicenter taking out Sniper as well as dealing some damage to Bloodseeker. Queen of Pain kind of blocking in Bloodseeker there. He is going to go down most likely because of that. No, he gets a mech charge.
Mech
He's
charge.
pretty hurting, but that was able to keep him alive. Shikuchi coming out.
Wow, so barely just saw a couple get away.
Radiant's top
Third,
tower is under attack.
very low health. Weaver's got what it takes to finish off a few of these guys.
Fatality going to go down. Trying to be the hero and save Bloodseeker there.
Wow, so Dire side definitely barreling down this tier 2 tower. They should have maybe taken it down a little bit earlier while they were holding off in the jungle. The towers would have meant a lot more when it comes to the overall gold spike. But with the negative armor, it's not going to last too long.
Radiant's middle tower.
Yeah, looking at this armor reduction coming off of Weaver, the Desolator hits also working on the tower to reduce the tower's armor. It makes it take more damage from all heroes, of course. But then also when we're looking at the team fights, this swarm attack coming off from Weaver, if those bugs are allowed their full duration, that's a total of minus 20 armor. It takes 1 armor per second over the duration of 20 seconds, as well as the minus armor coming off from Desolator. So just huge amounts of damage amplification coming off of Weaver there.
Yeah, if he's allowed to just stand there, he can do a ridiculous amount of damage over time. Now, Warlock is actually, I've learned, it's one of our friend Chris's new favorite heroes. He is a very new to Dota, not new to other MOBAs in general. He was a League of Legends player. So hopefully Sunday he said he might be getting on, and he did not too much mind as long as we keep the commentary light. He did not mind the coaching. So I thought that might be interesting. Maybe throw him lane support Warlock or let him mid Warlock. And throw that into a low-level pub, and we'll try to work along with him and point out some of the things you can do as Warlock to maximize your play and your contribution to the team. So it'll be maybe what we'll consider level 1 of, or not level 1, our episode 1 of our coaching. For our, as we said before, we are not claiming to be any sort of professional, but everyone's got to start somewhere, and having a friend or just a little bit of advice is better than jumping in and basically fighting your way through shark-infested water to try to just learn something, because you don't learn much except for frustration when it comes to this game, and just jumping in and getting off to a huge disadvantage, because it doesn't matter how good you are, if your opponent has a 10,000 gold lead at 20 minutes, no amount of skill, or very difficult, unless you're very, very good, will make up for that. So Dota can be frustrating if not, if you don't get that help in the beginning.
Even more important than that, I think it's also important that I learned something new. Just a moment ago, we've got some action going on here. Rupture comes off to take SK as well as the Dagon. In this Rosh fight, we just saw Rosh turned into a giant pig. I was unaware that Scythe of Eyes worked on Rosh, and it was interesting to see them fighting a 10-foot pig.
Yeah, actually the other interesting thing, if you can stack Scythe of Ice...
Ooh, giant RP coming off from Marshmallow there, as well as a good skewer.
Good one. That skewer was very
good.
Pig skewer.
Warlock comes out. And then again, as you were talking about the ability to keep them from disengaging, Warlock able to just hold them there for a moment, go ahaid and trigger the Aegis. So Bloodseeker does come back, and he's going to go down fairly quickly, but not before he takes somebody out with him.
Let's say he probably should not have stood there.
I think what he may have been thinking was if he could pop off his silence and get enough regen from killing the heroes, that he may have been able to survive long enough to take them out. But again, so much damage coming off of Weaver that it just didn't matter.
The other interesting you can do, if you can pop basically the Lincolns of the Roche and decide to Bison. Oh, looks like another kill. Oh, that was very close. Magnus barely making it out. But when he goes into pig mode, he comes back out of it. Sometimes he glitches so that the pig is giant, and then Roche returns to his size relative to the size of what that pig should have been. See, what you get is, if you multiple Scythe of Ice him, you can end up with like a 50-foot tall Roshan. And it's pretty ridiculous. Of course, it's difficult to stack a lot of Scythe of Ices in one game, but it can be done.
I think one of the other things we had discussed doing in our dojo videos was kind of going over level 1 row strategies, possible team setups, and just seeing kind of how they work relative to the heroes that you're picking, as well as the advantages and disadvantages of, if it takes too long to do Roche, you're going to get behind in lane. If you end up not even being able to take him in the first place, and the other team is able to find out what you're doing. So really, kind of, I don't want to say it's not plausible. It can be in the right situations, but very specific situations where you're going to be able to do that. And usually, if you're fighting against a team that's fairly competent, they're going to notice from your lineup that it's a possibility that you could be doing level 1 Roche.
Yeah, and it just comes down to a lot of times if they're brave enough to check that and check it in enough force to not immediately lose the hero. But yeah, I'm curious to try it, because honestly, without a 5-stack or a very dedicated lineup and some big cojones, the level 1 Roche strat is that risky. So we'd like to try it educationally. The other thing that I'd like to point out, depending on exactly how this fight goes, he cannot one-on-one fight Queen of Pain. That is crazy.
And dying as well as Weaver coming in. Queen of Pain going to go down very quickly. Bloodseeker still trying to give chase to Warlock. He wants this kill really bad, and he's willing to go down for it.
Cannot move. The epicenter was huge. What I was going to say earlier, as we've got just a moment here, it may
Dire
seem
structures are fortified.
illogical, but when it comes to Warlock, instead of going for the very fast Axe Rush, keep in mind Axe reduces the strength of each of your golems by 25%, so you're fighting with 275% strength golems, and still just one second AoE stun. If you go for the Refresher, in this late in the game, you've got the mana to support it. Refresher, you've got 2 100% strength golems, and you've got 2 1-second stuns with the drop damage. So, if you can stand to not take the tankiness early, oh, good kill steal coming out from the Juggernaut here. If you can stand to go for the squishiness of that Refresher build early, it is stronger. It's quite a bit stronger as far as the team fight goes. But of course the
Sniper taking so much damage from these Weaver auto attacks.
Shadowblade will save him here. Of course the gold build for any Warlock is the going for the Axe Refresher, which is difficult to do for anyone that is not extremely greedy with kill stealing, but it can be done from time to time.
I think that deals in large part with how long the game is going to, because really, if you're doing a good job as a support, you're helping to keep your carries alive, you're consistently present in those team fights, you're using your abilities, you're going to get a lot of assist gold, especially from keeping your kills low, or you're not your kills, your deaths low. That gold is going to build up really quick, as well as any farm you can find in the lane or the jungle or whatever the case is. But really doing your job as a support will net you quite a bit of gold, I think surprising amount to most people that are new to the game, in relation to the people that actually get the kills.
Yeah, I mean, even on this Magnus, we're about 50 minutes into the game. He's not really done outstandingly well. He's 9, 8, and 20, so decent. But he does run that Blink, BKB, Refresher, and Mana Boot. So I mean, he is not poor by any stretch of the imagination. Now, throw very, very regular wards into the mix, he might have to give up one of those items.
I think almost even a better example of that would be the Undying. Magnus having some better items, but also having more kills than the Undying. But the Undying sitting at 3, 11, and 27. So that 27 assists has netted him enough gold to put up a Vanguard, Mana Boots, Daygun, Blade Mail, as well as a Hood.
Yeah, he went for very gold efficient items as well. All of those being fairly cheap to assemble and very effective for what you spend on it. So he is indeed very difficult to kill one-on-one at this point.
That Blade Mail just now being picked up. Gonna play, maybe not necessarily at this stage of the game. Obviously 53 minutes in, the carries on the other team are fairly fed. May not play as big of a part, but still gonna reflect a lot of that damage back to any right clicks that are coming his way.
Yeah, and with the added strength, if he can land some good decays on multiple
Dire's
heroes.
top tower is under attack.
Oh, Weaver. Very good lockdown. They got very good shackle down, and that's what it takes sometimes.
And we may not think it worth it at this stage in the game to waste 2 ults on the Weaver, but thinking that is the other team's main carry. I mean, denying him any gold that's possible, forcing that 90-second respawn, really going to be huge for them, because now they're able to engage these other players here with the nice RP from Magnus, as well as the lock ult though, and the Epicenter coming out dealing tons of damage.
Yeah, I want to say
They
actually
are going to find the kills here.
big mistake coming out from that Magnus. I believe he was still currently had Bloodseeker's ult on him when he went for that skewer with BKB on, which of course now does penetrate that. Mop up.
Again, BKB only blocking the magical damage, Rupture now being considered physical.
Yeah, straight HP loss. Goes through Ghost Scepter and BKB now. So, we see the one team fight needs to be translated into a push.
They don't seem to be doing that well cohesively, though. The team fights are there. They're coordinating well with their abilities, but when it comes to map control and map awareness, Really, like you said, after a team fight like that, where you take out 2 of the main carries on the other team, especially in a carry-heavy lineup, you'd expect a push on one of the bottom lanes to try and put some pressure there, possibly break the high ground and take the racks. But all of Dire kind of just spreading out here, pushing the lanes individually. We see they've only got them not even halfway for the side lanes. Bottom lane getting a little bit of pressure there, but Sniper already there to clean it up.
Yeah, it's unfortunate. The only thing that was semi-committed to that push was the golems with their, their AoE. Oh, not quite enough here to take out the Queen of Pain. Very good jukes. Back and forth, back and forth. But Blink can do a little bit of damage to her. Make it seem that it's not worth her while to stick around. But the same does go for this Sand King. He's gonna
Weaver comes in, dealing tons of damage to Queen of Pain. She is able to blink out. Sniper also getting very low. He is going to go down to the Radiance damage as well. Windrunner able to Windrun and get out of there.
basically a head crab killed Sniper there. But at this point, I mean, let's be honest, Sniper could be one of the worst heroes in the game. He has no true escape. He's got to build a Shadow Blade to have any escape. He pops at the first moment. His real goal is to open up on you and keep you permabashed so that you can't do anything back to him. And if the chance isn't there, or if he gets locked down, he is just so squishy. He is unbelievably squishy compared to almost any other hero in this game.
And I really think that's almost true of all ranged agility heroes. Weaver kind of being the exception, being able to really have the mobility to move in and out of fights whenever he chooses, with both time-lapse as well as Sakuchi. But for a hero like Sniper, the goal there is to stay in the back and not draw attention to yourself. What you really want to be doing is, possibly hitting from high ground or something like that. Just in the back of the team fight, just doing tremendous amounts of damage with your auto attacks while not really being a viable target in the fight, keeping yourself out of that position.
Yeah, avoiding looking like you've got that big sign over your head that says food, which, considering that there are 2 Blink Dagger carriers on the Dire side.
They are going to try to push the high ground. Undying goes down, but the Rupture
Pig kill.
comes out. Oh, that Warlock ult to the epicenter, dealing tons of damage. Bloodseeker will go down, chasing Juggernaut past the tower. Windrunner also trying to keep them delayed, but so much damage coming out from the Dire side at this point.
Radiant's bottom tower is under attack.
Weaver really laying down the pain at this point. He's got his own Radiance going on, giving him a lot of right click as long as just some very persistent AoE.
We also saw that Sniper ult go off on Weaver. We saw the Lincolns pick that up. It's important to note, whenever you have somebody who's a general Lincolns carrier, you always want to make sure that you use your smaller abilities to trigger that Lincoln before you really blow the big abilities, because it's not going to do anything. It's going to block it just like the Sand King did there, and it's just going to be put on cooldown.
Yeah, speaking of, throwing that BKB in a panic while you are low on physical health and being chased. A lot of big mistakes actually on that fight.
Sand King still getting chased, but the Lincoln's blocking it. They are going to be able to pick him up just out of the sheer Queen of Pain throwing those daggers and keeping him slow completely.
Yeah.
The Burrow Strike just wasn't enough to get out of it.
Full retreat coming out of the Dire side now, and no racks taken. So as long as they can get this wave pushed back, we can call that a major victory considering how far the Dire side was able to come on that one.
We've only visited our EXP and gold graphs once here. Let's take a look at how this is going again. We can see that the experience was heavily in favor of the Radiant around 30 minutes in, looking about 15,000, but now taking a dip closer towards the side of the Dire. Those team fights really picking up a lot of EXP for them, bringing that EXP graph back down.
Yeah, and that really is one of the more important stats in this game, considering that, like we said before, the early levels, although at this point we've got a lot of level 25s running around, and let's see here exactly how many we've got. We've got 3 level 25s on Radiant and
4 total. Weaver.
Yeah,
was
Weaver is on the other side and 2 24s, so getting pretty close. So
Dire's middle
the
tower is
early
under attack.
alt levels were very important, The stuns are nonetheless still important, but nukes less so at this point in the game. So the experience really was something that needed to be done early on Dire side, and now at this point is really coming close to the middle, but even if it swung wildly one way or the other, not making as much of a difference this late in the game. The gold also only going 5,000 to the Radiant side, and that not really being enough spread across 5 heroes to buy anything too significant that this next fight should be heavily in one side or the other. It's really going to depend on how each side initiates, or if anyone gets out of position. Now, the Roshan being taken while we were talking about that, going to the Juggernaut, who has been pretty crazy with his ults at this point. Not really planning those out too well, but that could possibly go in their favor. He can lay down enough right clicks with that Battle Fury and Blade Fury to be quite the nuisance in this next fight. We'll see how this goes.
Yeah, and she's also getting picked up by the Bloodseeker there, so that's going to give him a giant boost of HP in case he starts getting focused.
Sniper denying a creep instead of shooting Weaver. Oh wow, very good ults.
Really good fight coming out from the Radiant side here, just picking these heroes off one at a time, doing a good job focusing them. Bloodseeker is able to chase Warlock all the way back through, but Weaver going to take out Bloodseeker. Juggernaut also just kind of standing there taking it. He's going to pop that Aegis. Weaver sitting very low, but Undying super tanky at this point. Also, he's going to be dealing with the tower shots here.
The bashes are very good at this point. Weaver really getting into a range where Sniper is most comfortable. So what we kind of saw was a comedy of errors coming out of the Dire side, not getting that initiation they needed there. True strength is in a 5 versus 5, and they chose instead to go in there 1 or 2 at a time and throw out some big cooldown spells that really they may not have by the time they need again.
Man, and this Juggernaut doing loads of damage to this Undying. He does try to pop the Blade Mail. It's not going to be enough, though.
He's trying to... Oh, almost the Bloodseeker was going to pick that one up, but he didn't.
And again, looking at these CS charts here, just emphasizing Blade Fury is a fairly good pickup on Juggernaut if you're going for a farm build. Obviously, if you're going for early points in the healing ward for a pushing lineup and things like that, Battle Fury may not be the best pickup if you're just going for the early push, because it does cost quite a bit of gold to get up. But once he has it, he can push even harder. But just really rocketing his CS and his farm up above everyone, including the Weaver, who was at the top of the charts for the CS in the beginning of the game for a very long time.
Juggernaut's not one of those heroes that, given an equal amount of farm to any other hero in the game, he's going to one-on-one completely win that fight. He sells quite early. But in any case, like we said earlier, with the respawn and the skills on cooldown, Dire really sealed their own fate. They did not have what it took to really carry this game all the way through and make a successful pushback or a defense. So we are seeing Radiant take it on this side. So, ladies and gentlemen, if you want to win, Bloodseeker Forcestaff, I think, was maybe the most fun thing to watch in this game.
We see even Weaver, being as farmed as he is, he's almost 6-slotted. He's got the recipe for the heart, sitting on almost enough gold for the Reaver before he died there, but just not enough to keep up with the farm from the carries coming out on the other side here. So again, like you said, I think lesson learned, if you're going for that early push lineup, that early team fight lineup, you have to end that game early. Otherwise the other carries are going to get out farmed and they're just going to out carry your carries basically.
That's pretty much it. Well, in any case, guys, we're trying to go for a little bit more of an educational take on this game. We've probably not consumed enough beverage to be silly on this one, but in any case, let us know if we thought it was too dry, if maybe we need to bring a little more flavor to that. In any case, we're still finding our balance as well, but I thought it was a very interesting game. We got Radiance on one side, Radiance on the other side. We got Forcestaff twice on a Rupture, which I thought was pretty interesting. Dagons. I mean, what more can you ask for? I thought it was a pretty good game. Alright, anything to add to that before we close this one down?
Yeah, it's a fun game to watch, and again, like you said, comments, suggestions, still trying to find our stride as a commenting team, commentating. But yeah, we just keep plugging along here.
Alright guys, well, we will shut this one down, and we'll see you at the next video. Night.
Take it easy.